The Sodor Giant. Billy is one of the youngest engines on the island of Sodor. He works hard and wants to be really useful, just like Thomas. But sometimes Billy wants to be taken seriously and be treated like all the other engines, because he often feels that everyone treats him like a very small engine. One day, Billy had finished his day's work when he went to see the engines at Tidmouth sheds. James was telling scary stories to the other engines.
And then the ghost train raced through the tunnel. The little engine ran into the tunnel after him. But when he came out the other side, the ghost train was nowhere to be seen.
The engines didn't take James's stories too seriously. Billy thought James's story was silly.
What are you talking about, James? Where do you get stories like that?
You have to listen to the story from the beginning, Billy. That's how you understand a good story.
I've heard better stories than that, silly James.
And I suppose you've got a better story, have you, Billy?
I have actually, Gordon.
And what story might that be?
Billy saw a chance to make himself look good.
Have you heard of the story of the Sodor Giant?
The Sodor Giant?
Who's that?
He's a very tall man. He's big, large, and very scary. He hides in the tunnel near Tidmouth Hault Station.
Why?
Because his home was destroyed by a very large storm. No one knows where he went, but some say he claims the tunnel as his own and will take his revenge on anyone who dares to enter what he calls his tunnel. He shouts his big, boomy voice and will scare those whoever comes near him.
A giant in a tunnel? Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Oh, I've never heard anything so silly in all my life. He sounds like a very funny character.
Don't laugh. Giants are very scary people, and they are capable of doing mean things.
What do you mean? Throw the engines out of the tunnel like a bowling ball?
All of the engines laughed at Billy's story. This made Billy so cross he grit his teeth. So instead of arguing with the engines, he went back to his shed. The engines didn't notice Billy leaving. They were too busy laughing.
The Sodor Giant.
Oh, what a silly story.
The next day, Billy was taking workmen to Tidmouth Hault Station. He was pulling the breakdown train and the works coach along the line.
What's happening at the station, sir?
The roof at the station needs urgent repairs.
You mean the roof needs new tiles?
Not just that, Billy. Parts of the roof beams and supports are rotten and need replacing. That's why we must make sure the station is repaired as quickly as possible.
Just then, Gordon passed by in the opposite direction, pulling the express.
Be careful, Billy. I hope the Sodor Giant doesn't get you.
Billy was still cross with the other engines laughing at him and his story. He wanted to teach them a lesson, but he wasn't sure how.
I'll show them. I'll show them.
Later that day, Diesel arrived at Nafford Yards to collect his trucks of wooden beams and supports. James was telling Stafford all about Billy's story.
And then Billy said the giant will scare those who dare into the tunnel. Isn't it silly?
I must admit, it is a bit funny. What was Billy thinking of?
He's a very silly little engine. He cannot tell a good story even if he wanted to.
Diesel heard this and thought it was funny.
The Sodor Giant? Now that is the strangest thing I've ever heard.
Diesel left the yards with the trucks. He was soon making good time and running nicely.
What will that silly little orange engine pick up next?
Diesel could see the tunnel to Tidmouth Hault Station up ahead. He was just thinking on what he was going to say to Billy when...
I smell the oil of a diesel engine.
What?
Be he big or be he small, I'll teach him a lesson once and for all.
Oh no! It's the Sodor Giant! He's after me! Help!
Diesel raced back as fast as his wheels could carry him. The station master at Tidmouth Hault was puzzled. He looked at the station clock.
Diesel should be here by now. What's keeping him?
We can't start repairs until the train arrives.
The station master went to find the telephone. When the Fat Controller heard the news, he was puzzled too.
I see. I'll send another engine to take Diesel's train.
He went to see Henry.
Henry, Diesel didn't make his delivery to Tidmouth Hault Station. His trucks have been left in a siding at the signal box. You must collect it and deliver the train as fast as you can.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Henry quickly made his way to the waiting trucks. The signalmen were pleased to see him.
Thank you for coming so quickly. I don't know what's gotten into Diesel.
We'll deliver the train as fast as we can.
Henry was coupled up and set off with the train. As Henry approached the tunnel, he was wondering why Diesel hadn't delivered the train. Suddenly,
I smell the steam of a steam engine. What?
Be he tank or be he tender, I'll make him quiver from funnel to fender.
Oh me! Oh my! It's the Sodor Giant! Billy was right!
Henry was so scared he raced back away from the tunnel.
I'm not going back in there again!
There's nothing like afternoon tea and toast. Oh, bother this telephone. Hello? What's that? Henry didn't arrive? Right, I'll get on to the matter right away. Goodbye. This is very strange.
At the diesel works, Diesel was telling the other engines about the Sodor Giant.
He said he was going to teach me a lesson once and for all, no matter how big or small I was.
But that can't be right, Diesel. Giants aren't real.
What he means is, there's no such thing as giants.
But I heard him. He had a big, booming voice.
But how can that be possible? I've never heard of a Sodor Giant before.
Neither have I, but there must be more to this than just that Diesel.
Mavis had overheard the discussion and decided to go see the Fat Controller. So, she left the diesel works with her engine purring smoothly.
There's something fishy about all this. Why have I never heard of the Sodor Giant before?
When Mavis reached Nafford Station, she saw Emily already there. She was talking to the Fat Controller.
Henry is refusing to leave the yard, sir. He says he won't go back to the tunnel because of the Sodor Giant.
You've heard of the Sodor Giant too? Diesel is telling the others at the diesel works about it.
There's something strange about all of this. Diesel and Henry not doing their jobs, and the supplies for the workmen not being delivered, means there's a lot of confusion and delay going on. And I've just heard that Billy is nowhere to be seen.
Hang on a minute. I think the answer to all of this is at the tunnel. I'm going to take a look.
I'm coming too.
Yes, both of you go and investigate, please. Then come straight back to me.
Yes, sir.
Emily and Mavis made their way towards the tunnel. They were thinking about Henry and Diesel and what had been happening.
Do you think we'll find the answer, Emily?
I'm sure of it. Something is going on at that tunnel. And I think I know what's happening.
They soon reached the tunnel, just about to enter, when...
I smell the oil of a diesel engine and the steam of a steam engine.
That's the big booming voice Diesel was talking about!
Be they together or be they apart, I'll pinch their wheels to make my cart.
Oh my!
Mavis! Now is not the time to be scared. We have to solve this mystery now.
Very well, Emily.
Slowly the two engines made their way into the tunnel. It was dark and cold inside. Emily and Mavis couldn't see anything. Then...
You will not come any further, otherwise you will feel the wrath of the Sodor Giant.
Oh! How dare me! He's real!
Wait a minute.
Billy?
Oh, hello there.
So, it was you all along, Billy?
You were the Sodor Giant?
Yes I was. Good, wasn't I?
Billy!
Oh dear.
When Emily and Mavis took Billy back to Nafford Station, they explained what had happened. The Fat Controller wasn't happy to hear what Billy had been doing in the tunnel.
I'm very upset and cross with you, Billy. You caused a lot of confusion and delay. Not only did you scare Diesel and frighten Henry, you stopped the workmen at Tidmouth Hault Station from doing any repairs on the station roof. And because of you, no one was being really useful.
All of the engines were very cross at Billy. They glared at him. Billy felt bad about what he had done, but he was still cross with the engines.
I'm very sorry, sir. But I only did it because the engines kept making jokes about my story of the Sodor Giant. They said it was silly and ridiculous. So I thought if I made it look and sound real, then they would change their minds and take me seriously, like proper engines should.
But your story was silly, but there was no need to trick us like that.
You gave us a real fright.
And you caused us a lot of trouble!
You should be ashamed of yourself, putting us through all of this!
That still doesn't make it all right, Billy. You should know better than to play tricks like that on my engines. I understand that you want to be taken seriously, but the way you did it is not acceptable. Now, don't you have something to say?
Sorry, sir. Sorry, Henry. Sorry, Diesel. I'm sorry I scared all of you. I just wanted you all to believe me.
I think a few days in the shed is what you need right now. You can think about what it means to be a really useful and responsible engine. Understand?
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
When Billy was allowed back out to work again, he was sent to deliver trucks of sand to Tidmouth Hault. He was still thinking about his joke he had pulled on the other engines. When he arrived, he saw Henry and Mavis all ready with their trains. Billy was pleased to see the station roof looking better.
The station roof looks wonderful!
No thanks to your delays, Billy!
Billy heard this, and Mavis and Henry spoke to him.
You really should think a bit more, Billy. You can't play jokes like that just because no one believed your Sodor Giant story.
Mavis is right. There are ways of dealing with things like that, but the way you dealt with it was wrong, and you should have known better than that.
Billy understood this, and was still feeling sad about it.
I'm very sorry for what I did. I just wanted you to believe me, like you do with the other engines. I thought friends always believed each other no matter what. But you didn't feel like my friends when you made jokes about me.
Henry and Mavis were surprised to hear this. They now realized what Billy meant by this, so they decided to be kind.
Billy, you are our friend, and you always will be. But sometimes you have to understand that sometimes other engines have reasons not to believe things, even if you mean what you say.
We do want to be your friends, but you have to look at things from other engines' point of view and not just yours. Your story was a little bit silly. Some believed it and some didn't, for reasons you need to understand.
We'll always help you, Billy, but you have to learn to be a bit more understanding towards everyone else. Okay?
Billy listened and gave a smile.
Thank you, Mavis. And to you, Henry.
Billy knew that even though he was still young, he could still ask the other engines for help. He was very lucky to have good friends on the Back and Shoulders Railway.